Autostyle Design Addict. We are together again for another session of this digital version. Let's say thank you to all of you to join us every week, and also thank you to Roberto that give us the opportunity to be together and to discover all the design operation and activities. Alors, this week we have a special thing. I took the time to be in front of the street art, very nice flower and activity, in order to introduce what we have in our blood, in our heart, the design, the speed, and the sensation of speed. And I know Alessandro, which is an old friend of Autostyle, always there. And Mr. Maccolini has prepared us a very special thing. I know we are going to see something around GTA, and ALFA ROMEO is going to surprise us. Thanks again, Roberto. Thanks again, Alessandro, for all you give, and all of you just enjoy.
Cari amici, Autostyle anche nella sua versione digitale continua a confermarsi come un importante contenitore di idee e esperienze tecniche, alimentato dai protagonisti del design auto internazionale. Tra questi ci accompagna da tempo Alessandro Maccolini, che oggi introdurrà con la giusta passione dell'alfista il progetto della sportivissima Giulia GTA. Sarà di sicuro come averla qui per poterla toccare, proprio come succede quando ci riuniamo in viva. Avanti quindi con l'importante presentazione, con la sapiente guida di Alessandro. E grazie a tutti per la continua attenzione al nostro programma.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Autostyle Design Competition 2020 100% Digital Edition. Thank you, Mr. Roberto Artioli. Thank you, Mr. Eric Dubois. Such an exciting event today, and I'm proud to introduce Mr. Alessandro Maccolini, Head Exterior Designer of ALFA ROMEO. Alessandro, good afternoon.
Ciao Alessio, come stai? Buongiorno, good afternoon to you, and welcome of course to you and all the guests for today. A special welcome to the students, of course, a special guest to the Alfisti, not Alfisti, and of course for the Autostyle Berman event friends. So Alessio, today, as you can see, I am in a special place. I am in this kind of dark box. In reality, we are
beautiful place. I want to show our attendance better this thing, so I can just in this beautiful tricolore.
Yes. So today we are in our virtual room in our Centro Stile. As you can see, we have a full-scale model in red and two digital model projected in our screen. Today, for our presentation, we will use this screen as a virtual ball. So today, unfortunately, on the last weeks, we have received more restriction, especially in the north of Italy. So we prepared something special for you. We recorded something in another place. Sorry, you will see a kind of duplicate of myself, a kind of twin, and maybe I will repeat something. But I think we have a good journey around the GTA, GTM project and our brand. But before, I want to thank you of course to you, thank you to all the people, and a special thank to a gentleman for his passion. Thank you to Roberto Artioli, because if today, with this new edition, with this new digital media edition of Autostyle, we are again together, I think it's because the passion of Roberto. So thank you very much for this. Just a summary of our presentation.
Yeah.
You see a kind of a walk around of the car in a special place. You will discover where in a few seconds. You will return with me in our studio for our conversation, Alessio, and maybe with the people connected on this event.
For sure.
And after, we will have a nice video, absolutely exciting, full of passion and of energy. And so that's all. I think we can start with our journey. Okay?
Yes, so many surprises, and now we can start together to this journey.
Buongiorno a tutti, welcome everybody, and a special thank you to our guest, Berman Autostyle friend, and Alessio, everybody, welcome in a special place today. So many times during the previous presentation for Berman Autostyle, I explained how is important the connection between the past, our heritage, and the new model Alfa Romeo. This is a kind of important element for our inspiration, because we need to keep something from our history to understand something more about our future. Today we are, I think, in the best place to understand everything about that. We are in the Museum Alfa Romeo, where we have beautiful cars, where you can see a lot of incredible cars that made our past and our legend. Today I have a special guest to introduce our GTA project, the responsible for the museum, Lorenzo Ardizio. Ciao Lorenzo, can you give us some information about the history of GTA, the project, the name, the soul of this incredible car?
Thank you, Alessandro. Welcome everybody to the museum. The GTA, it's a really iconic car, probably one of the most iconic Alfa Romeos of the 60s of the post-war tradition. And there are many reasons for this role in Alfa Romeo history. One of the reasons is the name GTA. GT obviously is Gran Turismo, but A means super light, lightweight, because the most important modification is the fact that the bodywork was completely replaced with an identical one, but made in Peraluman 25, an aluminium alloy that saves 200 kilos. So the GTA weighs just 745 kilos. But this is not the only key point of the car. The starting point of the GTA is the Bertone Giulia Sprint GT, a car that represents the perfect balancing between the form and the function. Behind every line, every design element, behind every single element, there is a function, there is a reason. And the result is a car with a perfect driving pleasure. With brilliant performances and ready to become a protagonist also in motorsport. GTA has two souls, the road car with only 115 horsepower and the race car that arrives to over 170 horsepower, able to win 7 times the European Touring Car Championship and thousands of national and international victories. But the most important fact is that the two cars are the same car. And so the people that is dreaming, looking at the motorsports races, can also drive an identical car every day. And this is an important element, a relationship between the motorsport tradition and the brand values. The slogan in 1965 was a victory a day with your everyday's car. and this is the starting point of this project. It's not just tuning up the engine, even if you have a twin-spark cylinder head. It's not just increasing the top speed, it's increasing the quality, improving the car, every single element of the car. And the result is something with two souls, but that perfectly mirrors the Alfa Romeo values, the history, so the industrial and commercial tradition, and then the beauty, because obviously the Giulia Sprint GT was one of the absolute masterpieces of Alfa Romeo design, but also the speed, the idea of driving pleasure, performance, technology. And these three important values are still important nowadays, are the starting point for a future generation of Alfa Romeo.
Thank you, Lorenzo. So we discover many important elements, ingredients from Lorenzo. He explained a lot about the historical cars. We have many information about the technology, the engine, the lightweight, and this is our mood. So we receive all the information from our past, we manage all this information, and we try to keep an inspiration, a reference also for the future. This is absolutely important. We have many keywords that I will explain also on the new GTA. Lightweight, for example, weight reduction is a target, is a mission for our project. The everyday car, so it's not a supercar. The people that drive in Alfa Romeo drive because they want to receive a driving pleasure before, and the performances arrive after. This is, I think, absolutely important also when we imagine the project, when we prepare our brainstorming and all the technical information for the project. So now we know everything about the historical point of view. Let's go to see the new GTA. Okay, we continue our journey inside the museum. Here we have incredible cars, we have amazing historical masterpieces, and today we have a special guest. Look here, we have the Formula 1 Alfa Romeo. It's of course an extreme car for technology, for performances, for material, and it was also for the GTA project an important element, because we discussed with the people of the Sauber team for develop many components on our GTA. So let's start, and we continue with our journey in the museum. Walking on the museum, we can see a masterpiece like the 33 Stradale. This is an amazing car designed by Franco Scaglione, and is a reference. Today, when we imagine a new car, a new sports car, but also a normal car, we look at the shape, we look at the sensuality of this car, and we can imagine our future. So finally, we arrived to our GTA HEM, the new GTA HEM. With Lorenzo Ardizio, we discovered more or less everything about our history and the historical cars that was in our briefing, in our brainstorming, a part of the inspiration for this car. We underline the importance of function and style when they work all together. We don't need over-design, and what you can see today on this new car is everything is made for a specific request, aerodynamic, technology, solution, or performances need. So remember that we have all the front of the car in carbon fiber, the hood, the fender, the fascia. We have a lot of components exposed because again we need this mix between the style, so we want to increase, we want to give to the car a strong attitude. Maybe you remember the current quadrifoglio version. I'm sure you remember that this car is amazing for style, for handling, and our challenge was exactly this, how to make something better. In terms of style, I'm sure you can clearly see the difference between this new version and the quadrifoglio, and also in terms of performances,
look in the different area of the front, you can see what we had, what we improve for a specific function. If we speak about the bottom of the car, where we can see this active splitter, you know this function is available on the current quadrifoglio, but today we need to improve this function. Why? Because with this new car we need more downforce, and for this reason we had to the vertical adjustment also a longitudinal adjustment. This function combined with the new rear wing on the rear give to the car the perfect balance between the back and the front in terms of downforce behavior. As you can see, we have a new component. We have a new request for the air duct for the intercooler. We have new surfaces necessary for the cooling in the main radiator. And as you can see, the strange but characteristic slot that surround the Scudetto, they are not just a style solution, but if you can see in our past, if you go in historical cars for competition, you can see exactly the same element. This is not just style, but this is a way to keep more air for the radiator. Okay, so here we are in a specific area of the car where we can underline something important about the changement compared to the quadrifoglio. First of all, we increased the track of the car. We have 20 mm per side in the front and 30 mm per side on the rear. As you can see, we have a specific wheel with a single nut. We have some specific element for the aerodynamic requirement. You can see the wing outlets. And if we go on the fender, we have two important symbols of Alfa Romeo, the quadrifoglio and Autodelta. The quadrifoglio, as you know, is the symbol of sportiness of Alfa Romeo, represent our historical past where the competition, the racing mood is a part of our legend. And the Autodelta open an incredible chapter of our history. So the new GTM is a kind of journey around our real and deep mood of Alfa Romeo. Okay, so now we are on the back of the car, exactly like in the front on the fender. Also here we can understand how it was important to increase the track of the car. You can see the wheel arch in carbon fiber, absolutely necessary to give this a new layout on the back of the car. We are in an important area of the car, so we can see the diffuser, we can see the wing. Components absolutely important and necessary for this type of car where the performances are the mission number one. If you look at this component, it's incredible. Look at the shape of this wing, look at the diffuser, they speak the same language. There is something nice, just an anecdote. If you look at the board, the upper board of the wing, it reminds to the historical shape of the Giulia. So it's another mix of function and style. Everything is in carbon fiber. Before we saw the Formula 1 car, and we developed all the components, especially the aerodynamic component, with the team of Sauber Alfa Romeo. I think it was a great experience because you can mix the experience from the Formula 1 to the production car, and this is the result. If you look the layout and the diffuser is different compared to the quadrifoglio. We go in a single position of the exhaust in the central part of the diffuser. The rest is improved for aerodynamic performances, and also the appearance. Look at the size impression of this back is incredible. So again, we underline what was great on the quadrifoglio production car. Now you can see something absolutely extreme on the GTA. Okay, we know more or less everything about the exterior, but for an Alfa Romeo the interior is important too. Okay, we are inside the car. Again, some keywords. A priority of the car was the weight reduction. we more or less explain what happened on outside, carbon fiber, solution, etc. And also for the interior, the target was the same. So in the GTA M, we have a configuration, a specific configuration to achieve this important element. You can see the two seats, the two sport seats with the carbon fiber frame. If you look behind me, you will discover a new layout. We remove totally the seat. We replace with the cover. We have the roll cage for the safety of the car, and we have the beds in a super incredible sports configuration. Some interesting ingredient for the interior. First of all, the material. We have the Alcantara on the dashboard to reduce the reflection from outside. We have the real material everywhere. So in this configuration with the carbon fiber, you can see the real material on the tunnel. There is the opening of the door with this specific sport version, typical solution for a sports car, and this car is made again to connect the driver with the car. The Quadrifoglio was an amazing car. The GTA amplified the behavior of this car. And for this reason, our work, when we designed the interior, the focus on the driver, it was absolutely the priority. Many times we imagine autonomous car, electric car, and but for Alfa Romeo there is an ingredient absolutely necessary, is the driver. The driver is a part of the project, is not an optional. Okay, we arrived to the end of this amazing journey around the Alfa Romeo GTA M on this wonderful location. I think today we discovered something more about our brand in general, the past, the present, and maybe the future. And I hope to see you again, maybe in a different place, wonderful like the previous location for Berman Autostyle events, and of course in a better moment. Bye bye and see you. Ciao.
Such an amazing surprise, such an amazing place. The Alfa Romeo Museum is the perfect place to, it's perfect place for GTA.
Yeah, Alessio, that's incredible because also now looking the video, it was a strange emotion because I was in this place more or less alone with the car and just the cameraman, and this place is wonderful. Unfortunately, today is closed, but please, when we be open in the future, go because it's a magic experience. You can see,
yes, I will.
You can see incredible cars. And I think looking the cars in the museum, you don't understand just our history, just the brand Alfa Romeo history, but also in general the automotive history. Because imagine how many designers made an Alfa Romeo, and so it's amazing. It's an incredible experience again.
So the heritage is always really important to understand how the new model was built and project. But for the new GTA, how is important, for example, the aerodynamics? Because we know that it's derived from an F1 car.
Let me say, as I explained on the museum, especially looking the Formula 1, because it was in the museum with the GTM, this mix of language, style, and technology, performance handling was absolutely important. You know, when we speak about design, we speak about our language is more proportion, volume, treatment, lines, etc. The engineering, especially with this kind of engineering, very, very top because it's a Formula 1 team. It's not just a sports car. When you merge the two languages is amazing. So when you find the meeting point, is a great experience. Also because you can transfer your culture and you receive in the other side something absolutely incredible. So it was a great experience, and I'm sure looking the car, you can feel this transformation from the ideas, the project, and the final result.
We can see on your screen, on your giant screen, just beautiful drawing. Tell me more about them. I want to show the people just large, so I can just shut off my cam for a while.
Yep. Yeah, we change our virtual wall. As you can see on my right side, we have many picture, many design, many sketch that represent the definition of the style for the car. You have a nice picture that made a focus on the different area where it was important to apply the technology and the style in a different way compared to the current quadrifoglio. We have a beautiful sketch for the exterior. I want to thank you, the colleagues that made this.
That's beautiful,
kind of
really beautiful.
We have Giuseppe Barbera for the exterior that made a great job on sketch and also on the 3D model. And also for the interior, Daniele Zarei make a great job. And of course, I want to thank you, Ina Kondakova. She's the Alfa Romeo woman. She's the responsible for the interior of Alfa. And they make a great job too. And I think you can see the sketch where we can touch every area of the car. I explained something, few words when I was in the museum, but look in the sketch, you can understand how big is the work behind also for the interior.
Yes, sure. We can appreciate a lot. But what about the workflow? Because we saw sketches and then 3D modeling, maybe 3D printing, prototyping, a lot. And all the team have to work together on these all steps.
Yeah, absolutely. For this project, but in general for the different projects, not only for Alfa Romeo, of course, but I mean, for this car was quite fast, this process, because you jump directly from the sketch to the render to the 3D model. Today, more and more, this process is absolutely necessary because, you know, we need an interface, we need a common language. When you make a sketch, you can do a beautiful sketch, a beautiful render, but after you need a reaction from the platform, from the engineering, and the language is the data model. So for this reason, today, the guys that work in our studio, in our Centro Stile, they are very flexible, and they can touch directly from the sketch to the 3D model absolutely in an autonomous way.
That's beautiful. So someone is asking us, what does it mean, the M in GTA M?
Yeah, today, if you look in our dark room, we have this model, the red one. This is the M, like the car in the museum. GTA is Gran Turismo Alleggerita. In this case, the M means modificata. Because, again, we have two cars in reality. The project is GTA. The GTA version is, let me say, the street version, without the strong, very big front splitter and the rear wing, and without this extreme configuration for the interior. In the modificata version, the GTA M, we have everything. So we need to go deep in the weight reduction. And for this reason, for the interior, we remove totally what is absolutely unnecessary for the people, for the passenger behind, and we improve what was absolutely necessary in terms of downforce in the front and in the rear.
Okay. So the GTA M is nearly a race car. So not for every day, but the GTA is a car for every day. So it's an important thing. So is in the inner spirit of Alfa Romeo, every day a car to drive, to race, and
absolutely, Alessio. Of course, the GTM is more extreme, but again, if you want to receive pleasure when you go in the track, the M version is the best for this. In this case, the GTA is let me say, a normal car, but anyway, is an incredible car with high performances. So it's a kind of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, but
okay, yes, yeah. Beautiful, yes. It's absolutely like that. And I know that there is the core of every Alfa Romeo project is the pilot, the driver, the man-machine interface for Alfa Romeo is just the center of the project. How did you work with GTA and GTA M project for this core inside?
I want to give you an answer starting from our claim. You remember maybe our nice, beautiful claim today is the La meccanica delle emozioni. And
Yes, sure.
when you look at the animation of this claim, there is the Vitruvian Man, the Uomo Vitruviano, made by Leonardo da Vinci. I think this is a part of the project again. If I imagine an Alfa Romeo, if we imagine an Alfa Romeo, I'm sure the Alfisti understand this. You want to be a part of the car. You are not an optional. You are not a simple passenger. And for this reason, of course, the beauty of the car is absolutely necessary because function, performances, handling, but beautiful. And Alfa Romeo needs to be beautiful. We need what is absolutely necessary for safety, for handling, performances, but the very important ingredient is the human, the man, the driver. Also, if you drive simply the car in the street, not in the track use.
Yes, it's a pleasure to drive.
Yeah.
Every day, pleasure to drive.
Absolutely.
Yes, totally agree with this sentence. And speaking about beauty, you said beautiful. Speaking about beauty, I have to say that 33 Stradale is one of the most amazing car of Alfa Romeo. Is a stunning car, but that heritage, how that heritage could be combined with the new model, and when you're just trying to create a new car, new project, new concept, maybe you go into the museum and look at all the cars, especially the 33 Stradale.
Yes, absolutely. As you, if you remember our video in the museum, the 33 Stradale was a part of our journey from the GTA, the historical, and the new GTA M. It was not just placed on this position for our video, but I think it's a good part of our journey. Why this? Because again, if you look in the museum, you can see many cars, incredible cars, and generation after generation, style after style, you can see different Alfa Romeo. But there is, I think, a common element for every Alfa Romeo. And 33 Stradale represent, I think, this common element. You know, in the 67, when Franco Scaglione designed this car, you receive an incredible layout, an incredible package with engine, suspension, a package made for competition, not for a street version. And the work he made, Franco Scaglione, was great because he designed the best dress for this kind of layout. The 33 Stradale is not a concept car, is, let me say, a normal car. If you look at the car, there is nothing unconventional. You know, maybe on the same base, different incredible design made something beautiful. After more or less in 10 years, we produce different concept car. Maybe you remember the Carabo. It's amazing with this.
Beautiful. I love it. Yes, yeah. I love the Carabo.
It's incredible when you look at this car. But also we have the Iguana, we have the P33 too. But what I think conserve the 33 Stradale is what is necessary for the technology, and in vice versa, the technology, what is necessary for the style. I think this is the best soul of Alfa Romeo. So you need performances, you need style, but what is correct for your ingredients? So nothing more, nothing less. And Alfa Romeo 33 Stradale, I think, represents perfectly this kind of mission for our brand.
Like an equilibrium,
Absolutely.
An equilibrium of these ingredients. Yes, sure. And the heritage that allows you to jump into the future. And speaking about the future, there is a question about Antoine that says fare disegni con un visore VR può aiutare nello sviluppare un concept. Just making drawings using the VR visor could be useful for you to develop the car.
Yes, I think can be a tool, can be a positive tool, sorry, because you can anticipate something because you are immersed in a reality that is not available in the beginning. But I think this is what happened after. if you want to develop the project in the correct way before, you need to keep in mind what needs to be an Alfa Romeo in terms of mood, general mood. And again, the style can be totally different because, again, if you return in the museum, you can see sensual car, you can see boxy car, you can see everything. So the style can be what you want. But again, every car is an Alfa Romeo. You can see this touch of Alfa Romeo in every different car. And if you look in your process, in our process, what is important is to maintain this in mind. All the tools are, of course, positive, can be a kind of different way to understand, to balance the style, but the project in general needs to be strong.
Yeah, another question about the process, the workflow. Lucas asks us, penso che quegli sketch che vediamo scorrere sullo schermo siano fatti con una Wacom tablet digitale. I think that the screens are made with a Wacom digital tablet.
Yeah,
isn't it?
More or less, yes, because maybe I mentioned something about that before. We start from the sketch with the pencil on the paper, but after that, many times, especially the younger designer, the new generation, go directly on the screen. And of course, yes, the Wacom is the main tool we use in our studios for this kind of part of the process.
And you said young designer. We really care young designer. We know that Alessandro, you really care young designers. For young designer, which is your advice about starting this career and looking at the car not only as stylish and aesthetics, but also functional?
Yeah, this is, I think, an important message in general. Many times here we are in a place where many times we discuss about style. We have a presentation, we have a different proposal from different designers, and we discuss about style. We look at the good sketch. Many times we have incredible sketch, incredible render that show an incredible cars. But you know, you make a sketch after you make a 3D data, after you speak with engineering, maybe your sketch needs to be modified because it's not so feasible. So in the end, our work, of course, is to produce something beautiful, but the car is a car when it's in the street. I think this is the real mission. So we need to make a good car, of course, through an amazing sketch, but the final car will be beautiful if it's on the street, not just on the paper.
Yeah, sure, for sure. The last question is a technical question from Pranav, and he asking come riuscite a tirar fuori dagli sketch I blueprint? So how can you make blueprint from sketches?
But you know, I arrive from an old generation, so the blueprint is a kind of name connected not with a real phase of work. But
really classical. It's a really classical style. Yeah.
I speak about piani di forma because you remember when the 3D data was not available, the piano di forma was our first activity. So you make every section to make this kind of skeleton of the car. This was our blueprint 20 years ago. So now with Elias, we remove this phase because it's a part of, let me say, our history or old generation of design, but it was incredible, and I think better than what happened today for some reason. But in the end, yeah, the blueprint represents the main line, especially on the side view, in the orthographic view, represented the main line that built the car. Of course, we need a certain experience to make that, and we underline the shoulder line, the character line, the main line, and also the reflection on the glasses of the car can help to read the car not through a sketch, but looking, by the way, a side view of the car. So it's a way to represent. Sometimes we can make this kind of blueprint in the full scale, so we can print, and this is a way also to judge the size impression of the car. Looking this size impression from a certain distance can be also an option, an opportunity.
Yes, yes. My curiosity is also on materials, because every material is chosen for the GTA with a special purpose. For example, the Alcantara interiors, just to avoiding bad reflection on the dashboard, for example.
Yeah. Sorry, Ina, she's not here with me, but I try to explain something about that.
We know she's the master of interior in Alfa.
Yeah. So the Alcantara is one of the most famous material, not just for fashion, but especially in our environment, is a specific material that often we use for sports car. Why this? Because I explained in the museum, the Alcantara in the top of the dashboard is important, again, because you reduce the reflection from outside. But imagine the steering wheel, imagine the seats. When you need to be connected with the car, you need the Alcantara, but also the distribution of the Alcantara mixed with the leather. So you need to stay attached to the seat with the body, but in the same time, you need the movement with the arms when you need to control the steering wheel. And for this, again, it's not just the Alcantara, but where you put the Alcantara, the layout.
Yeah, sure.
So again, material, function, reaction for every material on different position of the car.
Sure. The last two questions, because I know, Alessandro, you have a big surprise for us.
Yeah.
But the last two questions, the first question is from an alfista, a real alfista. So is asking, quando arriverà la tonale? E ti mando un grande abbraccio da tutto il club degli alfisti. So when tonale will arrive?
As soon as possible.
is a very good answer. And the last one for our student young designer, they are asking if they want to have an interview with Alfa Romeo and want to have the possibility to be a designer in Alfa Romeo, if they have to be polyvalent, so have many skills as 2D sketching and 3D modeling and also rendering and other things.
As I explained before, of course, the flexibility in the mind is absolutely important. You can be absolutely autonomous if you are able to sketch, if you are able to transform this sketch on the 3D model. And with the 3D model, you can mill a clay model in a scale or in a full scale model. So, of course, this is important. Again, if you are open with your mind, if you can touch the different area of our process, is the best for every designer, every young designer. And I think for the new generation, this is more easy because the mind, I think.
Yeah, they use digital, they're born digital, maybe.
Absolutely.
Sometimes, yeah.
Absolutely. And again, today we are in the digital version. Maybe the young people are more connected today with compared to the previous event in a place wonderful, but maybe not so easy to be visited by the people.
And most important thing, they have to have an alpha spirit inside their heart to enter the Alfa Romeo Centro Stile.
Absolutely. I know there is some alfista with a tattoo on the body. You don't need this. We need a tattoo on the heart. And this is enough, I think. Of course, we need a specific passion because Alfa Romeo, is a legend. Is a legend. You work for a legend, sure. So in the end, it's not easy.
Sure, a beautiful dream. So thank you for advices and answering. But now let's burn out the Alfa Romeo spirit because it's time for the surprise.
Yes, because I explained before, every car is a car when it's in the street, not just on the paper or in the virtual wall. And for this reason, I think for this kind of car, the natural environment is the street. But for the GTM, it's not a simple street, but it's a track. For this reason, we have this amazing video, is already available on YouTube with the two special drivers. And so we will discover together. Go, Alessio.
Let's race.
cars in the racing, it's kind of never-ending story.
This is the adjustable rear wing. So today your work will be to tune also this.
Yeah.
Quanto è più larga dietro rispetto a quel foglio?
Siamo saliti a 30 per lato.
30?
And this is the new air intake to increase the cooling of the air.
Yeah.
Because we have the central exhaust.
Yeah.
And so we have to retune the air extractor to always to work on the downforce.
Avete coperto tutto. L'efficienza aerodinamica, il fondo deve essere totalmente piatto.
We take care about the interaction between the rear wing and the diffuser in the Sauber wind tunnel. The new splitter, and this is the registration
where you can move
screws. And in addition, we have a new street legal tires that we have chosen together with Michelin that will guarantee a better grip and a better lap time.
It looks nice, and it will be exciting to drive it.
Vela posteriore è molto più stabile rispetto frenata fa paura.
It's definitely better now, like it's more easy to turn into the corners.
Kimi, check the stability in the long and fast corner.
Yeah, it's okay.
Ti lesmo molto meglio, soprattutto anche sull'anteriore è molto meno sottosterzo.
Bisogna che mi faccia come un giro con la massima deportanza.
Una volta che scendo dai cordoli, la macchina si muove molto meno.
Ok, Antonio in questo giro.
Il problema che avevo sempre lì è che appunto si alleggeriva lo sterzo e mi andava sempre un po' il sottosterzo. Invece oggi sento meno sotto e più accompagnata davanti, soprattutto davanti.
Going low down force.
Okay.
So you check.
So more top speed. Find the perfect mix of everyday use and track use.
Ed è stato bello appunto soprattutto vedere il miglioramento che abbiamo portato quest'oggi sulla vettura.
Such an amazing video, Alessandro. It's like to be in the car with Kimi Raikkonen and Antonio Giovinazzi. Wow, what's really amazing.
Pure
and the
energy, pure energy. So
pure energy. The best thing was looking into the eyes and see the joy inside their eyes. It was beautiful. So it's a pleasure to drive. Yes.
yeah, absolutely. And you know, not just what happened on the eyes of the drivers, but also in the worlds. I mean, we discuss a lot in the museum, you with me, and your questions from the people, and the keywords are the same. You remember when Antonio or Kimi, they speak about the everyday car. So I think this is incredible, because from the beginning to the end, you have exactly everybody the same mood. I think this is the best. So now, if you look in my on my back, there is a new picture.
I want to show it full screen, Alessandro.
Yeah, this is the extended team of Alfa Romeo. Before I mentioned 2-3 persons.
The dream team of Alfa Romeo.
In reality, behind the project, there is an incredible team, because you need a color and trim, you need a 3D modeler, you need people that work on the car directly by hand. So, a special, of course, welcome to Klaus.
Klaus Busse is there.
The car, Daniele Calonici, the second last on the picture, and the new responsible for Alfa Romeo, and Klaus, of course, our big boss. This picture represents our team. This picture represents what happened in reality in the Centro Stile. A big, a great team, and we need to work all together.
So thank you for this beautiful journey, Alessandro. Was really amazing to just hearing the beating of ALFA ROMEO heart and this incredible project. I hope to meet you in the next year at the Autostyle 2021 edition.
We hope, of course. Alessio, before to say bye, just if you want to open again the screen, because as you can see,
sure.
I have this mask. I think, this mask today is not because I need it, because I have some colleague here, but there is a certain distance. But as you know, we are in a big problem today. So this is what you need today. This is the best version for the mask. This is maybe more fashion, but you can decide. But my message is today, for the next days, next weeks, next months, unfortunately, please don't show your face, but show your brain. Keep the mask in front of your face.
Beautiful message, Alessandro. Thank you so much. Hope to see you very soon. And thank you so much. Thank you to ALFA ROMEO Centro Stile, to all your team, and see you very soon. Goodbye.
Ciao, Alessio. Ciao, everybody. Ciao, Roberto.
And I totally agree with Alessandro Maccolini message. Safety first. We have an incredible journey inside the secret of ALFA ROMEO Centro Stile, the new GTA M, beautiful car, everyday sport, and also in the race. But remember, they are professional pilot with the GTA M. You can just have that performance only in a proper racetrack. Okay, but now it's time to leave you, and we can see next week on Thursday, same hour. And now I have to leave for the place for the final greetings to Jarlath Sweeney. Goodbye and see you next week.
Thank you very much, Alessandro and team. It's wonderful to see the resurgence of ALFA ROMEO in recent years, and compliments also on the many awards that you have won. This success is down to your hands. Next week we remain in Italy, and we hear the latest from Dallara, another wonderful Italian brand, rich in heritage, rich in history, rich in motorsport, and the sports cars are second to none. So until then, thank you very much for watching and listening, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Slán agus Banach. Bye for now.